Guys, it's a new year, and guess what? Hackers from all over the world still work hard to steal your valuable data and personal information, and they're at it 24/7. Are you sure your identity and browsing history are protected? As you know, I was a NordVPN customer long before they sponsored the show, and for one reason, their service allows me to safely browse the internet without being traced, all while keeping my data safe and secure. NordVPN's advanced encryption hides your location and encrypts all the data, whether you're sending it or receiving it. Try a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee trial to get a 2-year plan plus 1 month free. For just $3.56 per month, visit nordvpn.com/Sonnen or click on the link in the description to get this special deal.
Derrick Lewis, Curtis Blaydes, a few thoughts, first of which is, damn, Curtis Blaydes looked good. Right, I mean, Curtis Blaydes, who has been criticized at points in his career for being so good at wrestling. So good at wrestling and so dominant that he only uses his wrestling. Curtis Blaydes was out there kickboxing, and by the way, quickly, by the way, in combinations, by the way, understanding range and controlling distance. Curtis Blaydes looked great. He was starting to do damage. He was starting to hurt Derrick Lewis's lead leg. Derrick admitted that at the post-fight press conference. So everything's going well in this sport till it's not, though, right? I mean, it's one of those things. And Derrick Lewis never got frustrated. He just stayed in the fight. He was continuing to take notes. That's what's happening. When you think a guy's starting to get picked apart, he's taking notes. It's detective work nonstop. You're starting to see, okay, what comes first, the punches or the kicks? Okay, how many punches come before the kicks? Okay, what does he do after that? But you're studying this on the fly while taking shots. It's hard to do. It's hard to do, but it's what Derrick was doing. And Derrick was noticing, I believe, that after a certain amount of combinations, Curtis would change elevation and look to close the distance. And Derrick started to look for that. And sure enough, a combination came, Blaydes changed elevation, came in, I mean, there was an uppercut. I don't know anybody that could have taken that uppercut. I mean, it was one of those things. I thought Blaydes looked awesome. I thought Blaydes looked like the better fighter. In all fairness, I thought Blaydes looked like the better fighter, but Lewis was so patient, and he's got that power. You can just not dismiss the Black Beast. You just can't do it because he's going to be there. And that used to be a knock on his career, that he's not going to be there all fight. And then Lewis he started changing his body, he lost a whole bunch of weight. All of a sudden, he's going 5 rounds, he's getting booked in championship fights. It was one of these things where he was forced to learn to extend. But he has learned, and he can extend. And I watched Big John. Big John did a piece on Derrick Lewis, and he talked about something that I knew, but that I didn't realize. And what Big John was talking about is for Derrick Lewis to have come this far. By the way, he has a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, to put that in perspective. He's never had a wrestling match. He's never done amateur boxing. To put that in perspective, he walked in on day 1 to an MMA gym and said, I'm going to go be the world champion. And I didn't realize, I forgot that he played football in high school. He did not wrestle. I forgot, by example, that he was not a grappling competitor, that he didn't do taekwondo or karate as a little boy. I just forgot these things. But you do deserve a lot of credit. It's also very interesting to watch how some of those guys learn. To watch somebody that comes in and learns that doesn't have a bias in one specific direction because that's what he learned his whole life. To watch somebody come in with a clean slate, start to find out, man, I got some powerful hands, but maybe I'm not Mr. Leg Kick because of my build. I'm pretty good with getting takedowns, but I'm not the guy that's going to sprawl. I mean, just to watch a guy learn, but starting at even, starting with no bias. And I do realize that we're seeing kids who started that at 14 and now they're growing up. Their names are Khabib, right? Their names are Zabit. But we don't see a lot of adults that have done it. Derrick might be one of the few examples, and he is the only example that you're going to see doing it in the last fight of the night on ESPN. And when Big John brought that up, I thought it was very relevant. If you're looking to give compliments to Derrick Lewis, you do have to start with that he didn't have a background, that he had a later start, that it was just hard work, drive, and determination. But I think that also speaks to how he can stay calm in battle. Doesn't know any different. I think that speaks to how he can be getting picked apart by a big, strong, number 3 heavyweight in the world in Curtis Blaydes. But know that one shot can change this. It's a very interesting mindset. I don't know that it's one that you can copy. It's one you can admire. But I don't know that it's one if you're an aspiring fighter and go, okay, here's what I need to do. I need to do what Derrick Lewis does. I need to be able to stay calm. I need to be able to weather a storm. I don't know. Nature versus nurture. It's an interesting thing, but I think when Big John does bring up the background of Derrick Lewis and the fact that he didn't start in a traditional martial arts or even wrestling, even out there competing in something one-on-one, but has made it all the way to this spot. Now, Derrick Lewis is talking about world titles, guys. That gets harder and harder to deny. What else are you going to do with him? Derrick is damn near, because of his success, in the worst possible spot you can end up in. He damn near is. He's a big draw who's well paid, who's highly ranked, who's not going to fight for a world championship. I mean, the world title is about to be contested between Ngannou, who, by the way, Derrick Lewis beat. Ngannou versus Stipe. Whoever comes to that is believed to go into John Jones. So what do you do if you're Derrick? What do you do? And the match that Derrick is interested in is Alistair Overeem. And there is a belief, policy-wise, that if you win your last fight, you take on somebody else who won. And if you lost your last fight, you take on somebody else who lost. That's a policy. We don't have to follow that. We don't have to follow that at all. Two main eventers. That's what we know. Reem is a main event fighter. Derrick Lewis is a main event fighter. They're in the same weight class, and they want to fight. Seems like that problem's solved.